Dear friends, thank you for joining us for this media briefing on the first PIO Parliamentarians Conference. To do the briefing, we have with us Secretary CPV and OIA, Shri Dhyaneshwar Mule. We are also joined by the Joint Secretary who deals with Overseas Indian Affairs, Shri Manoj Mahapatra. I would request Secretary Sir now for his remarks, and then we will have time for a few questions. Sir.
So namaste and good afternoon to all of you. We come back to you with one more conference, very unique conference that is going to be held for the first time. As you know perhaps that India has one of the largest, I think by rough calculations it would be the second largest diaspora, and the number is approximately 31.2 million people overseas. Broad distribution is 13 million are the people of Indian origin, essentially meaning citizens of other countries of Indian descent, and 17 million approximately, or over 17 million are the people who have Indian passports and they are staying overseas. So 31.2 million approximately is the number that we have. We have been engaging them quite comprehensively, and as you have seen in the last few years, Honorable Prime Minister himself has been very active in engaging them, and his message has been very strong. He has urged them to connect with India, keep one foot here, one foot overseas, so that they do not miss on the opportunities that this country offers them. So we are having this first ever PIO Parliamentarian Conference on January 9th, 2018. As you are all aware, 9th January, customarily, we have been celebrating the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. It is the day when the greatest of our diaspora members, or the greatest of our Pravasis, Mahatma Gandhi, returned to India on January 9, 1915. As you are aware that every year we used to have Pravasi Bharatiya Divas convention. Since 2016, we have changed the format, and it is held now once in 2 years. However, the interim period is being used for more comprehensive, theme-based interaction and engagement with the members of diaspora. Last year, that is in 2016, previous year, 2016, we have had 10 panel discussions where experts from overseas countries and from within India were invited, and discussions were held under the chairmanship of External Affairs Minister Srimati Sushma Swaraj. This year we have already had 3, and we will be continuing that series. However, in between we have this particular conference that is going to be held. We have invited the sitting MPs at the national level from all over the world, wherever there are these members of parliament belong to Indian descent. We have extended the invitation. By a rough calculation, there are over 270 people of Indian descent sitting in various parliaments and acquiring various positions, starting from the head of government, head of state, members of parliament, ministers, as well as the speakers, and then the members of parliament. We have limited the invitation to the members of parliament, and I am happy to say that we have 141 members of parliament and mayors together of Indian descent coming for this conference. The breakup is that we have 124 members of parliament coming for this conference and 17 mayors. The total number of countries covered are 23, and we will be circulating you the confirmations as of today for your background information. Interestingly, on every continent of the world, we have sitting members of parliament who belong to Indian descent, and the number seems to be growing. The broad categorization of those who are coming here: Guyana has the largest number of representatives coming at 23, 20 members of parliament and 3 mayors. It is followed by UK, which is sending 16 member delegation, and out of which 15 are members of parliament, 1 is a mayor. The third is Mauritius. Sorry, I must change the order a bit. The number 2 is Trinidad and Tobago, 16 members of parliament and 4 mayors. And 3 is UK, as I mentioned already. 4th is Mauritius. The number is 13, 11 members of parliament and 2 mayors have already confirmed. The other countries, depending on the countries, the number is 6, 4, 3. Suriname is 9. Some countries like Reunion Island 3, New Zealand 4, Fiji 7, and all 7 are MPs from Fiji. So this particular chart is Canada. We have 5. This is being circulated to all of you to have a better idea. Let me come back to the program a little bit so that you have an idea as to what we have lined up for them. It's a one-day engagement, starts in the morning. The inaugural will have our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. He will be inaugurating it. It will then be followed by the first thematic session, and that thematic session will be on PIO Parliamentarians, a journey of struggle to Parliament. A journey of struggle to Parliament. It's expected that they'll be able to relate the story of their progress so far in those respective countries, how Indian diaspora has journeyed so far. Those things will be related by these parliamentarians. Then the third session of the day and second thematic session will be Resurgent India, a role of PIO parliamentarians. We're hoping that they would also be able to tell us as to how they wish to connect with India, what kind of interaction they would like to see, how maybe they'll be able to contribute to the growing relationship between India and those respective countries that they represent. So this will be the second one. The first thematic session will be chaired by Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, and the second thematic session will be chaired by Deputy Chairman of Lok Sabha.
So what is the first thematic session?
I'll repeat, yes. PIO Parliamentarians, a journey of struggle to Parliament. I repeat, PIO Parliamentarians, a journey of struggle to Parliament, and the second thematic session is called Resurgent India, a role of PIO Parliamentarians. As I said, the first thematic session will be chaired by the Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, and the second one will be chaired by Deputy Chairman of Lok Sabha. For both these sessions, we will also be having one special guest. For the first thematic session, that is PIO Parliamentarians, a journey of struggle to Parliament, we have Shri Shashi Tharoor as the special guest. He is also the chairman of the standing committee for the Ministry of External Affairs. And for the second thematic session, we have Shri Anant Kumar, the Minister of Chemical and Fertilizers and Parliamentary Affairs in the Union Cabinet. He will be the guest, he will be the special guest for the second thematic session. We have a valedictory session which will be chaired by Honorable Vice President Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji. After that, there will be a cultural program and there will be a dinner hosted by Honorable EAM. That is the broad program of the day. The conference is expected to break the barrier in communication, emotional or cultural, due to the lack of technology and opportunity in the past. It will also be able to highlight the potential that exists for cooperation between the countries where our diaspora is in good number and India. It will also perhaps create an awareness about how large the extended Indian family is actually is, in the sense that more than 30 countries have people sitting in the Parliament of Indian descent. So in a sense, India has accomplished the theme Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or the whole planet is our family, in the true sense of the term. We have no doubt that the conference will see a certain upgradation of our relationship with these countries from where these members are coming. So I'll pause here, and I'll be very happy to take a few questions to further clarify or create any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, sir, for that comprehensive briefing. Please identify yourself, and as the usual rules, keep yourself to one question. Please.
Will these sessions be open for the media? Would we be able to have an interaction or even attend? I mean, just be able to view the interactions?
Are you interested? So those who are interested may call, contact XP Division. They will facilitate.
We will be putting up a detailed media advisory. There will be some limited cases available because of the the space constraints, but there will be some access available.
Sir, venue is Pravasi Bharatiya Kendra. Sir.
सर इसका मकसद क्या है जो ये पहली बार ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हैं, क्या एजेंडा है जो सारे डेलीगेट साइन?
That's an interesting question. I think first and foremost is, allowing an opportunity to connect with India. It's quite likely that many of these people are coming to India for the first time. Second is really to see in the long term. It's not expected to yield results overnight. Long term, to see how this diasporic family could actually contribute to furthering the relationship with those countries and facilitate people-to-people contact, which has been emphasized again and again by both Honorable Prime Minister as well as Honorable External Affairs Minister. So this is the first time such a conference is being held. It's also to create awareness amongst ourselves as to how big is the extended Indian family, and to give them an opportunity to connect with India first hand.
There's no single MP who's coming in despite.
I think Senate and Congress is in session. Yes, that's what we have been told by our mission.
any reason why the Parliament Speaker is not involved with the program? Since
No,
the
we
parliamentarians-
see what happens is we have limited it to the sitting MPs, not to speaker or not to ministers, and that was a policy, because then we will also have no multi-layered protocol arrangements may not be required, and the discussion will be held with one single, because ministers are coming off and on, but MPs in this great number have not come to India at all. I must mention that each country will get a slot to speak either in the thematic session 1 or thematic session 2 for 3 to 5 minutes. So they would also be able to outline their own vision as to how they see India, both as a country and a diaspora. So every person will have, every country will have a slot to speak.
Sir, you've got several countries. You've got 23 countries represented over here. Any particular issues that the government would probably like to take up with them when you're saying it's a broad agenda, we want to have a contact with them. And this diplomacy is also for the long run. Long run to have our contact, our friends in every country. Having said that, any key issues that you would like to bring up in that conversation? And will there be separate meetings also? Like for example, if you have UK, if you have got 10 MPs from the UK, or 10 from Malaysia, or 5 from Canada, would there be some separate meetings also taking place on the side?
Well, we have not really identified any specific issues to be taken with them, because this is the first meeting. What we think that this will have a fairly good fallout. As I said, most of them or many of them are coming for the first time, so they may not even be aware as to what development India has seen in the last 25 years or so. What has been our journey of economic reforms? What is the growth story? Because it is likely that some members are still haunted by the old memories of slums and poverty everywhere, and India struggling to manage its food supplies. So it's an opportunity for them to update also their image of India, the perception of India, and have a first-hand interaction. So that is one thing. I would say it's not really about concrete outcome. To begin with, it's kind of a spiritual exercise also. For many of them, it would be a catharsis, because they would be coming to their motherland for the first time after maybe generations of spending time outside. So that is to begin with, to establishing that connection afresh in contemporary times, I think is the foremost important objective, if there is one to this whole conference. Yes, I don't have the gender distribution here, but there are. I'm sorry, we don't have those details. Yeah, I would like to just add, taking a cue from you, is there have been some requests about having meetings, and those meetings are then separately being organized by the territorial divisions. For example, there is interest from UK, for example, because such large number of members of parliament are normally not coming in one bunch or one group. So this is an opportunity. So some of them would be interested. We are also facilitating some tourism for them, so that they could go around Delhi. So there would be a fallout, but I don't think the focus is really on that. Focus is really let the wires be connected, and maybe whatever enlightenment comes out of it, that is what we're looking for. This is the first ever, so we'll after this conference is held, we'll take a stock and see if it is useful, then there would be a positive consideration.
Any particular names you can tell about the MPs who are coming from Delhi?
No, we have names, but I would rather resist from saying those names here right now.
Is there any expression of interest from any of the existing MPs to watch proceedings of Parliament?
parliamentary delegations from outside this country?
Parliament here.
That time Parliament would not be on, it is already adjourned.
Sir, you mentioned some heads of government and heads of state also who are of Indian origin. So, any invitations extended to any of them?
As I said, we are not even extended them to the ministers, not extended to the speakers, because they are also members of parliament, but we really wanted, only one level, that is really, the parliamentarians.
But the ministers also could be MPs.
Yeah. But we're not.
So out of these 1,700, I think you told that 1,700 MPs and ministers and representatives are there of Indian origin. So have we chosen among them, or what has been the format of inviting? Only 124 are coming.
No, as I said, over 70 of them are in the category of head of state, head of government, speakers and ministers. In many countries where number is really down because a large number of people are in the government, and ministers were not invited this time.
It's only sitting MPs, not
Yes,
the
that's
former
right.
team,
That's
like
right.
Ujjwal
That's
Goswami
right.
was the
That's right.
ones,
That's right.
or the member of parliament. So they are still holding a good positions in their leading political parties. Not like that. Only sitting MPs.
Correct. We are then able to focus appropriately on this too. It's a cohesive.
Do you have some kind of a statistics? How many among PIOs are they who are heading the governments or head of states?
There are a number of them. Again, this conference didn't do that exercise, but we have, Prime Minister in Portugal, Prime Minister in Ireland, Prime Minister of Mauritius. These names straight away come to me. They're all of Indian origin right now. Well, in this particular group, we might have, now since somebody asked about specific names, offhand I can tell you that we have Bharat Jagdev from Guyana, and we have Kamala Bissessar coming from Trinidad and Tobago. Both of them have been in the position of head of state, head of government category. But currently they are sitting MPs.
Well, we have long been exercising this Pravasi Bharatiya collaborations here, either here or outside. So what has been the outcome till now, that what we have got out of this? Any list?
Well, that's an interesting question. Today, if we see there is a heightened interest in India outside, the diasporic link has played a major role in it. The second thing is, from my own experience, I can tell you that the diaspora and India have a very symbiotic relationship. If India becomes confident, the diaspora becomes confident, and vice versa. In a country like US, you have 4 Congress members, 1 Senate member of Indian origin, 2 governors. So they do carry a soft corner for India, and they, whether we nominate them or not, they become ambassadors for us. Now that again indirectly gets reflected in economic links, cultural links, people to people links, and while these are not always quantifiable benefits, they are certainly contributing. If today you see that India's image outside is fairly good or fairly appreciated, a major role has also been played by the diaspora. And this is not a small thing, because in today's world particularly, image determines everything, perception determines everything. So to that extent, there is a sea change, I would say, overseas, the way they perceive India now.
डायस्पोरा की बात हुई, जैसा अभी अखिलेश जी ने कहा कि 2000 से लेके 2014 के बाद कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन चेंज हुआ पीवीडी का। अभी पार्लियामेंट में माननीय विदेश मंत्री सुषमा स्वराज ने हिंदी के बारे में बात करी, काफ़ी उनके प्रख्यात कवि थे। हिंदी को संयुक्त राष्ट्र में मान्यता दिलाने के लिए काफ़ी कोशिशें में वहाँ के संयुक्त सभागार में सम्मेलन भी हुआ, लेकिन अभी तक उन्होंने जो समस्या बताई कि पैसे का संकट है, 129 देशों का समर्थन चाहिए हिंदी को वहाँ, यूएन तैयार है भाषा को एक्सेप्ट करने के लिए, तो उसमें क्या ये जो सम्मेलन है कहीं से वो मदद कर पाएगा या उसके आगे की क्या कोशिशें हैं यूरोपीय स्तर पे, उसके
नहीं, देखिए ऐसा है कि हिंदी जो है वो हमारे लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण भाषा है और बहुत प्राथमिकता इसको दी जा रही है। आप जानते हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री खुद, विदेश मंत्री खुद जो है अपने सब भाषण, अभिभाषण, वक्तव्य पूरा जो होता है उनका हिंदी में ही होता है और इसी तरह से हिंदी आगे बढ़ेगी। मुझे लगता है कि हिंदी का सफ़र जो है वो सही दिशा में जा रहा है और कितने भी संकट क्यों ना हो हम उनको पार कर पाएंगे। मतलब जो विदेश मंत्री ने कहा उसके आगे वैसे मुझे कुछ
इस सम्मेलन में उसको लेके कुछ
इस सम्मेलन में होगा। फिजी से लोग आएंगे, वो हिंदी में बातचीत करेंगे। मॉरिशस से लोग आएंगे, वो हिंदी पूरा जानते हैं, वो हिंदी में बातचीत करेंगे। यही तो इसकी छोटी छोटी सब स्टोरीज़ है कि फिजी के जितने भी लोग आएंगे वो सब हिंदी में बात करेंगे आपसे।
बात करते हैं सर, हम बात कर रहे हैं कि सम्मेलन में उस एजेंडा को लेके जो कि विदेश मंत्री जी ने संसद में कहा, और इससे कहीं कोई लिंक है या
लिंक मैं कह रहा हूँ लिंक है। वो एक सकारात्मक भाव से वहाँ वापस जाएंगे तो 10 गुना जो है उत्साह जो उनका है भारत के बारे में और हिंदी के प्रति जो प्यार है वो बढ़ेगा। और इसी को, ये प्यार की भावना को कोई क्वांटिफाई नहीं कर सकता। हमने सार्क नेशंस को इसमें समावेश इसमें नहीं किया है। हाँ, श्रीलंका है, श्रीलंका छोड़कर।
Any other questions?
We can take one last.
One. Any other?
So are you saying you did not send out invitations to other countries in SAARC other than Sri Lanka?
Yeah, that's right. No, I don't. No?
No, I'm sorry. This is on the briefing itself. Thank you very much, friends. Thank you, sir, for joining us for this briefing. And once again, a happy New Year to all of you.